What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Positively Living. This is episode 5, and I think in this episode I would like to clarify some of the things that I said in the previous episode. Like, when I say problem is good, I'm talking about personal problem, right? Forget about the bigger problem like corruption in a certain country, global warming, or poverty rate, or inequality in pay. All this, like, we can forget about it, because first you have to see, like, if you can't even solve your own problem, don't try to rearrange the world and try to solve the world problem, right? So that is too big for you. You don't even have the capacity or capability to solve your own problem. Don't look at the bigger picture, right? So start small, start with personal problem, right? And the reason I say personal problem is good, like I said, you would want to be able to solve your own problem first before you can try to help others solve their problem, right? So equip yourself with enough knowledge and information to a point that you became a more functioning member of the society, a contributing member of society, right? So before we try to rearrange the world and try to make the world better, try to make ourselves better first. So when I say problem is good, I was referring to personal problem. So seek personal problem, like whatever shortfall that you have in your life, try to make it better, right? Equip yourself with enough knowledge to try and solve that first. So now that we get that out of the way, let's talk about like this week's episode, which is the 3 scientific principles that I'm operating at, right? So I discovered these 3 scientific principles, and I think it makes a lot of sense logically, because it's quite practical, right? So the first scientific principle that I operate with is the reprogramming of the subconscious, right? We all behave or act, right, by the things that we have already programmed in our brain. So we all behave and act based on our subconscious, right? Whatever we have programmed in our brain is how we react, right? It's how we respond, it's how we see the world, it's how we value things, it's how we prioritize things, right? So with that being said, we have to first understand what we value before we can actually reprogram on how we can try to evaluate what we value. So let me give you an example, right? So a lot of the time we undervalue time, right? That's why we waste it most of the time. It's either by looking at series and binge it for the entire day and not being productive, or we don't even bother allocating time to exercise, knowing damn well that exercising is beneficial for you, right? It's good for your body, it is good to keep you healthy, right? So when you undervalue time, you waste it. You waste a lot of it, right? On the wrong friends, on the wrong priorities, on the wrong things. However, once you found out, or once you reevaluate that and finally think, hey, you know, like, time is very, very important, then you will start to act differently. You will start to prioritize it and, you know, allocate time properly and value it more, right? So reprogramming that requires time, but it first requires you to really actually understand that you have value things in the wrong order, right? A lot of us value family, a lot of us value time, a lot of value money, family, money, or money, family, right? But at the end of the day, you have to understand, like, money is not everything. Like, money that you lost, you can earn back. Like, you can always earn money, and then you value a relationship like friend or family, whatever relationship that you had, because you think that you know, they are important to you, they are important to you. But if you don't even see yourself as important, you're supposed to be first, right? Then chances are you will spend all this time trying to please everyone, and then you never be satisfied, because it's impossible to please everybody. So first, prioritize yourself, right? Because the best investment is self-improvement, right? You have to first improve yourself, be a better individual before you can start adding value to other people's life, right? So always value yourself first and spend time working on yourself. You know, I read a quote somewhere like, the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. So work on that, right? So reprogram your subconscious. Yeah. So to reprogram your subconscious, like, you have to first look at what needs to be worked on and slowly program that, because there's a right way of programming your subconscious and it's the wrong way, right? So the right way, I always like to give an example of riding a bicycle, right? The first time you try to ride a bicycle, you're conscious about it. You're conscious about how to balance, how to pedal, where you should shift your weight when you pedal. So like, first time you'll fall multiple times and you will have a hard time trying to balance. However, the more you work on it, the better you become, right? After you put in hours and hours and hours and hours of work. Like, there's a theory saying like 10,000 hour theory. Like, if you put 10,000 hours into something, you become good at it, right? So now when you want to ride a bicycle, you no longer think about how to pedal or how to balance. The first thought that's popped in your head is, where am I going with this vehicle, right? So that's how you that's how you program your subconscious, right? So now when you ride a bicycle, you're no longer conscious, you are behaving based on your subconscious. Now, the wrong way of programming your subconscious, here we go, right? It's like when you type on a keyboard, right? The first time you try to type, you look at the keyboard and you type with 2 fingers, if you're proficient. If not, 1. Think of the word that you want, you type it on the keyboard, you look up at the screen, it's like, yeah, that's the word that I want to type, and then you press spacebar, then you continue, right? And then as time goes by, you become more fluent at it, right? Now you no longer even need to look at a keyboard. All you have to do is just place your finger where it is, just start typing away, right? However, you'll be in trouble if I give you a piece of paper and ask you to write the layout of the keyboard, right? You will be in deep trouble. Why? Because you don't program your visual cortex, you program your motor cortex, right? So a lot of the time you can't even try to write it without putting your hand on the paper and try to figure out where is everything. And I tell you, 99% of the time we can't do it. Why? Because we don't, like I said, we don't program our visual cortex, we program our motor cortex. So that's the wrong way of programming our subconscious. However, here's the funny thing, you no longer need 10,000 hours to try and master that skill, because now, funny enough, if you put in 1 hour a day within 30 days, right, you will be able, like, longest I think 30 days, but I'm talking about sincerely practicing it, right? Longest you need is 30 days to write the entire layout of the keyboard. Why? Because the skill that you have in that keyboard has been burned into your subconscious. All you have to do is wire your visual cortex to that skill, right? Because motor cortex and that skills has already been established. So that's how you reprogram your subconscious, right? So now bring that to how you value things and how you react to things, or how you to reprogram your behavior towards a certain things. Only need 30 days of constant practice. I like, that's why there's a lot of book that said it requires you 30 days to form a habit. A lot of books says that, right? So to change your life, first you have to change your perspective, change how you see things, change what you value, and then use that scientific principle of reprogramming of your subconscious to help you with that, right? So the second scientific principle that I operate on is the placebo and nocebo effect, right? We all know what placebo effect is, like to believe something so deeply that it became true due to the fact that your brain will generate that chemical to aid your belief, right? Most common example is like when you gave someone a candy telling them that it is paracetamol, their brain will generate enough chemical to generate to make them think that they are actually having paracetamol and they will cure their headache, right? That is the placebo effect, right? And nocebo effect actually is the opposite, right? If you fear something so much that your brain generate enough negative chemical to feed your belief. So with that being said, what you fear and what you believe contributes a lot to your quality of life. If you keep thinking that you can't, you're scared of this, you're scared of that, that's how pessimists think most of the time, right? They will their brain will generate enough chemical to stop them and paralyze them from ever trying, right? So optimists behave the opposite way. Like they believe that it's possible. That's why their brain will generate enough chemical to give them the courage to try. So do what you will with that knowledge, right? For me, I just understand, it made me understand how our brain works, right? And then the third scientific principle is the brainwave theory, right? A lot of us know what radio wave is. Like it's just basically frequency and vibration, right? So if radio wave vibrate in a certain frequency, that once you have the same frequency, you are able to communicate. Like a deviation of 0.1 in those frequency, you will not communicate, right? That's how radio wave works. So brainwave theory suggests that every thought that we have cause a vibration in our brain, right? And those vibrations in turns generate chemicals back to placebo and nocebo effect, right? Generate chemicals. However, if we understand how vibration works, it creates frequency, right? So brainwave theory suggests that every thought that you have generate a frequency, and then whoever have the same thought will communicate with you in a certain level. Like it pretty much coincide with the law of attraction. That's why a lot of the time optimistic people seem luckier, right? Because they believe that they can opportunity arise to show that, for them to prove that they can, and then thus they succeed. So that's the power of the brain, I would say. So brainwave theory suggests that you attract what you think, pretty much the same as law of attraction. So although we don't have any scientific fact or research behind this, but I think if you sit down and look at it logically, it makes sense, right? I think the only reason there's no scientific paper or on this is because there's not enough funding. And then if they actually fund this research and the theory proven to be a fact, the world will be in trouble, because there won't be any more people that is controllable or any more people that are weak, right? The world function based on manipulating the weak, right? That's what I believe, right? That's the reason why only less than 1% of the world is successful. right? Because they generate enough knowledge to utilize it for their benefit. And if everyone have that knowledge, there will not be any suffering, I would say, right? Because you will see things clearly, you will understand it enough to utilize it. But not a lot of people have that opportunity, first of all. Second of all, not everyone have that tenacity and grit to actually pursue that and make their life better. So that's what I want to share for this episode, like the 3 scientific principles. That's why I never say fact, I say principle, because a lot of some of them are theories, some of them are studies that has been proven to be a fact. I just try to link them all to make it make sense. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you like it. If you do, like, subscribe, ring the notification button, and comment. Okay, I'll try to engage you. So thank you for watching. Peace out.